I'm Josh.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Nemo. And we just nerd here.
Should we talk about 98 Degrees now?
Yeah, I feel like we should.
98 Degrees.
I really, honestly...
They did the Mulan song.
Yeah, I was going to say they were on Mulan.
That was one of my talking points, so thanks.
I'm sorry.
That was their only song worth noting.
That's my only...
Memorable songs. True to Your Heart. Mulan.
That's the only
And the only reason it's good is because Stevie Wonder's in it. And he harmonica solos.
Yes.
Because every song needs a harmonica solo.
Yes.
Which is what we learned from Blues Traveler. So
yes. We need simpler times and more harmonica solos.
Oh my god,
Less social media, more harmonicas.
We should send Kim Jong a harmonica and then everything will be fine.
We should just send him a harmonica that is laced with anthrax.
Let's send everyone harmonicas laced with anthrax.
No, let's not do that.
No, just the really
people
bad people.
Okay,
yeah,
so let's not send anybody harmonicas laced with anthrax. We're going to become, marked after Nemo's comment about dropping a gas bomb at the mall.
Oh, gosh.
And then this, we're screwed.
But I was just saying, he's undesirable number one, basically.
Yeah.
It's okay if we send it to him. Just him.
Just reminded me that they're doing that Harry Potter thing in Bountiful.
Yeah.
3 days of Harry Potter in Utah. Just weird. I don't know.
It is weird, but you know what?
It's in your backyard.
Yeah.
If it's in your backyard, you go.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go to that. Anyway, 98 Degrees. Nick Lachey, and he was in a band one time with his brother, who I want to say his name was Drew. There was 2 other really forgettable members who probably had equally forgettable names, like Jim, or Jake, or Jeff.
Mike,
Matt.
Were they from Jersey?
Maybe?
Do you guys remember that Jack in the Box commercial where they were making fun of the boy bands and they just kept introducing guys and there's this is AJ and this is CJ and this is JJ and this is...
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
It was fantastic.
I don't, but
was it Jack with the head and the...
I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh, see, I love the Jack in the Box commercials.
Yeah.
Let's not get started on fast food because that's a whole nother rabbit hole for this kid.
I just wish that we had a Jack in the Box here. That's all
Well, they're opening that marijuana dispensary in Wendover, and there's some really cheap land out there right now. So if we buy a strip mall, build a strip mall, buy the land, build a strip mall, have the weed dispensary in the strip mall, give them free rent, and put a Jack in the Box on one side and a Taco Bell on the other, we could retire in about 6 months.
Very achievable.
Yeah, but isn't there already a Jack in the Box down the street?
No. The closest Jack in the Box to us is in Pocatello, Idaho. I have to drive 3 hours for a munchie meal. And then the buzz is gone. Hashtag JK.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm pretty upset right now.
Okay.
I was more upset about that than I was about Chris Cornell.
Well, let's talk about 98 Degrees, because nothing cheers me up like hearing about Nick Lachey.
Okay, I really don't have anything to say, except Nick married Jessica Simpson one time.
I had a crush on her for a minute.
Really?
Yeah, but then
Have you ever watched her face when she sings?
Yeah.
She looks like she's in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think out of all of them, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson, Mandy Moore was my gigantic
I still have a crush on Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
More now.
Yeah, even more now.
Yeah.
She cute.
Yeah.
She's very cute. And she's a good actress.
She is.
And she can actually sing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Except when she sang on This Is Us, as the old mom, I was her voice is not going to sound like that.
Wait, she's on This Is Us?
Oh my gosh.
Well, now I have to watch This Is Us for no other reason than because Mandy Moore is on it. Because she was on Scrubs for a minute, and those were some of my favorite episodes.
Oh yeah!
I shipped her and JD so hard.
Yeah, no, she is the mom on This Is Us.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well.
yeah, she's with Milo. Jess from Gilmore Girls.
Okay, Milo Ventimiglia.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can dig that.
Mm-hmm. I had like a 2-second crush on Nick Lachey, and then I watched more of their show and just kind of decided he was a little abusive and creepy.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is
Wait,
like,
what?
Oh, yeah.
he was just a
What are you guys talking about, though?
We're talking about wasn't it called The Newlyweds?
They had a show that was just following them around, basically.
Oh.
Early days of reality TV.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was when
they were actually famous.
Yeah.
So that concept makes sense.
Yeah.
I learned what a Kardashian was last October. I, honest to God, did not know what people were talking about.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing is I have never in my life watched an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Me either. I
just learned that was the name of their show like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was a show, but I didn't know anything about them.
Yeah, I still don't really know anything about them.
I don't. I just know
that rich. They're just famous for being rich.
Yeah, and like
vice versa.
I mean, I watched The People versus O.J. Simpson, and their dad basically helped O.J. get away with literal murder, but
that's great.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. The extent of what I know about their family. He's the juice.
The SNL sketch that they did right after he got let out of jail last year, or I think it was last year. It was fantastic. So you don't have a smartphone? You don't know who I am? And then everyone in the restaurant kept coming up to his date and saying, "How could you go out with him?" Fantastic. But it was Kenan Thompson.
Stay away from this man.
Like Kenan Thompson, I feel like is an excellent O.J. Simpson.
He can do anything.
It's true, but I also want to see him do Karl Malone.
Karl Malone.
Karl Malone. Karl Malone, if you feel like a room without no roofs.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. That's what that song's about. It's about Karl Malone.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look up those lyrics later.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Karl Malone except for everyone who's met him said he's a really big jerk.
I don't know, but he's agreed to be on the podcast someday, so.
Oh. Awkward. No.
Yeah.
TM.
I'm just kidding. I literally know
Karl Malone's a dick. TM.
I literally know nothing about who this person is.
He played the basketball. He would on.
That was my best guess.
Yeah, he would on the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, I was pretty sure about that. But
you hit teammate. You're my teammate.
Okay.
Anyway, so the only thing that we really learned from Nick and Jessica's show, The Newlyweds, is that Nick did not marry Jessica for her brains because she thought that Bumblebee Tuna's chicken of the sea was actual chicken.
Yeah.
And was the source of mockery for probably another, like, what do you think, like a decade after that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
No one really let her live that down.
I feel like everybody in her life was creepy and abusive, though, so I don't think it was her fault that she was dumb.
Yeah. Well, her dad was super creepy.
Like, he'd, like, talk about her breasts in public.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah, that's not okay.
I mean, she did have a fine pair of breasts.
She did. But
they were marvelous.
But...
And her butt was nice, too.
Also, yeah. I mean, she was very beautiful. She was a
gorgeous woman. Yeah.
Except for when she sang, apparently.
But she looked like she was in pain when she was singing, which is also more telling, considering that her dad was a creep. But now I'm sad. Well, fuck.
I hope you have more. Do you have more, like...
About 98 Degrees?
No, like, is there more after 98 Degrees? Because I don't want to... Okay, I don't want to end the show on a... Well, her dad was creepy, and she made O-faces when she sang, so...
Yeah, well, 98 Degrees, apparently they're still, still active.
Wait,
now.
They're still active?
Well, from 1996 to 2002, and then they took a break, and then apparently that break was a decade long, and then they got back together in 2012, and they're still together now. I don't know what they're doing, and I don't really care, so we're just gonna move on.
Okay. We have a ramune left over from our Nihon no Fumi episode, and I'm gonna drink it. So Hayley, go ahead, and you might hear me opening this bottle.
Okay, so the next band that we have here is Five. Sometimes stylized as 5 spelled with an actual number 5 instead of an F, which reads as Sive.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the thought process.
I have no idea who that is. Yeah, how are you going to pop that without it being?
Well, no, there's a thing.
No, I know, but it's going to be noisy.
Well, I was thinking about the
Oh, yeah.
that thing. So this is easy. Like, go ahead, 5.
5.
It's going to be louder.
They had their own set of rules, I think, because they were an English boy band, so they could do the Sive thing and people would just read it as 5 because everybody knows that the UK outperforms the US.
Now I can think of it as S plus 7.
They spell things fancy with extra U's and...
Louder.
So I'm either going to edit that out or I'm just going to tone it down a little bit. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so they had 5 members. Sean, Richie, Scott, Abs Love, and Jason J.
Abs Love.
Yeah, ABZ Love.
Oh my god.
But okay, so his name was Richard, but people thought that he might get confused with Richie, the other member. So they nicknamed him Abs after his middle name. I don't know what his middle name is.
Absner.
But
Abraham.
I don't know. I don't know.
Babs Barbara could be Babs, so Abraham could be Abs.
Because Abraham and Barbara sound so similar.
They're exactly the same.
Okay, great. Glad we had this conversation. So they were formed in 1997 by the same team that managed the Spice Girls.
Oh.
People of the World?
I remember hearing 5, but I didn't really know anything about them.
Okay, did you ever watch the Disney Channel concert series that they did?
No, I didn't have cable because I was a poor child.
Oh, well, 5 did a concert series with Bewitched. Do you know?
Yeah, my response to Bewitched is TV.
They sing the C'est La Vie song.
Oh.
Hey boy, sit in a tree, something, something, have some tea.
Yeah, no idea. No,
have some tea?
That's not.
Yeah, they said something about tea.
Were they British too?
No, they were Irish.
Okay, well, okay.
See, I know, the only Irish band I know is, not the only Irish band, but the only, Irish younger band I know is Boyzone.
Nope.
With Ronan Keating. Ronan Keating did that,
was he in Guardians of the Galaxy?
He did that cover of the Alison Krauss song.
When You Say Nothing at All?
When You Say Nothing at All, yeah.
Look, I knew another song. That's 2 this episode.
Yeah. But he was...
Wait, who said it best? Him or Alison Krauss?
Oh, you can't compare.
Have they done a duet?
I don't think so.
Do you think they should?
Yes, I do.
Well, now it's out there. Because we're popular enough now, at episode 9, that they're going to hear this.
That we can influence Alison Krauss.
Yes.
The greatest, bluegrass singer of all time.
I can't think of another song she does, but that's my favorite, of hers.
That's her most popular.
Because it's the only one I can think of right now.
She's very, very, very bluegrass.
Mm-hmm.
Does she have harmonica solos?
I bet she could. I think there's room
she probably does.
I think there's room in that song for a harmonica solo.
What's the name of the guy from Blues Traveler? Is it John Popper or something like that?
I don't know.
I do not know.
I know I brought this up before, and I don't know why I love Blues Traveler so much. I really do think it's the harmonica solos. My first is might not make sense to you, but in my mind, Dave Matthews Band has harmonicas in it all the time, even though it's a saxophone.
Oh my goodness.
2 completely different instruments. That was my first concert. My cousin Jenny and her husband Gilbert took me to my first concert. It was Dave Matthews Band. Such a great experience.
I would have liked to have seen them.
Yeah.
Okay. Crash by Dave Matthews Band was a Basic Bitch song before Basic Bitch was even a thing, and I unabashedly listened to that song.
Okay. Crash was a Hayley song before Hayley songs were a thing. I get it.
Crash was amazing.
Yeah, that's a freaking great song.
And Go Marching.
But I don't blame you. Blues Traveler does something to people because when my son was super colicky when he was an infant, we used to have to take him on drives and just let him scream his little heart out until he fell asleep in his car seat. And he almost always, if we just let him cry for about 15 minutes in the car and then we put on Hook by Blues Traveler, he'd pass out during the harmonica solo.
Nice.
It just does something to people.
And I don't know why. Like, I knew about Blues Traveler, and then, 2 years ago when I finally found Pandora and I made a 90s station, whenever they pop up, I just get really happy. So
yeah, it is really joyful music.
Yeah.
Try not to tap your toe to a Blues Traveler song.
Right?
Try.
Yeah.
You will fail.
Yeah, if I ever have it on where my trainees are coming into work, they're like, what are you doing? Like, because I'm just sitting there in my chair, having a good time. I got a smile on my face instead of my retching bitch face. Mm-hmm. Yes, my retching bitch face. I sit at my computer and I'm about to throw up and yell at you. It's the next level. There's resting bitch face, and retching bitch face.
Okay.
I used to always get
when people say
Travelers and Delamitri mixed up, and I think it was just because of the harmonicas.
Probably. But now I'm really concerned when people say that they have RBF. I'm gonna have to clarify
Wait a second.
where I need to sit if I'm supposed to sit by them. Like
resting or retching. Where do I need to be? Downwind or upwind?
Yeah, exactly.
Do I sit in front of you on the roller coaster or behind you?
Just be safe. Always upwind.
So back to Sive. So they had some success in the UK, but they never really broke into the US. But I personally feel like that was their own bad. They went on tour with NSYNC in 1998, but then they pulled out of the tour due to exhaustion. And that's
so British.
Yeah, like that's such a...
Can't we just stop the bus for tea? Can't we just... tea?
Which I'm sure that's like happened frequently before, but the only other instance that comes into mind is when Amy Winehouse went on tour with the Rolling Stones, and then she like halfway through was like no, because she had quote unquote inverted commas.
She had inverted commas.
That's very serious.
Inverted commas. She had exhaustion as well, but really we all know that she was just an ultra mega alcoholic and doing other things as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know what their deal was, but they kind of shot themselves in the foot there.
Josh is bunny foo-fooing over here.
They're bunny ears.
And if you guys know who Max Martin is, he like writes every pop song ever. Well, when when Hit Me Baby One More Time was being like written and like passed around and whatever, Five really wanted it, but Max Martin ended up giving it to Britney Spears. Yeah, he ended up giving it to Britney Spears instead, and so they were all butthurt about it and like cut him off and like stopped talking to him and were feuding with him. And then they were later offered Bye Bye Bye, and they hated the song so much and like totally dissed it. And, like, that song could have really, I think, like, broke them in the US. I would have
actually maybe known who they were.
Yeah.
And that is why this is the only time Sive has been mentioned in the last 18 years.
Yeah. Well, comically enough, they were active from 97 to 2001, and then they took a hiatus, got back together in 2006, but only for about 8 months. Because they couldn't generate enough, like, buzz for anybody to want to, like, let them record an album or anything like that. And then they got back together in 2012 and are still currently doing stuff. I'm not sure exactly what, but they're doing stuff. But the funny part is that there's only 3 members right now. So so 2 of the other members were just like, bye! And so now... But they still go by Sive.
Bye.
They still go by 5 with a 5.
Bye.
Just
Sive. So
Bye, Sive.
I don't know how you're gonna go by 5 when you only have 3 members.
Maybe they only have 5 testicles between them.
Oh my goodness. Let's not go there.
Okay.
Look, I can tie everything back into the beginning of the episode, so we're good. I really like British groups like that, though. Like that
with 5 testicles?
With 5 testicles. If they have more than 5, they're gonna be a little too much for me.
Too much.
Yeah. No, like
Too
S
much.
Club 7.
Okay, I can get down with some S Club 7.
Like, I feel like S Club was kind of in... Yeah. It's kind of in the same vein as Sive.
Except they didn't have a sweet show.
No, Sive... If Sive had had a sweet show like S Club 7, then I feel like we would know who they are.
I do not know who S Club 7 is, so maybe not.
It was on... I think at the time in 2000, it was called Fox Family Channel.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the Family Channel, and then it was Fox Family.
Yeah.
Now it's ABC Family, or then it was ABC Family, now it's Freeform.
Okay.
So they had a show that was on Fox Family Channel. And it was just them living in a hotel in Florida and singing. Right?
Yeah. But they worked at the hotel, right?
Yeah.
And then they also performed at the hotel. So they were
So they were like the summer.
entertainment.
They were brought over for the summer, and so it was kind of like a Saved by the Bell type show. You know, high school, early college age kids.
I'm pretty sure you've heard "Never Had a Dream Come True." That song. Never had a dream come true. That song.
Oh, okay, that does sound familiar. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Even though I've pretended, I thought we were gonna harmonize. Like that's why I was like way up here.
Song we can sing before copyright stuff.
No, we're good. We can sing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we made it our own because I'm not on key. Don't worry. We can sing.
And I definitely was not.
We can sing an entire song if we want to.
If we can circle back to "Hit Me Baby One More Time," I hated that song, because I was a little music snob when I was a kid. I'm not anymore. Mm-hmm. I decided. I actually heard a cover of it by Travis, who is weirdly another Irish band. Now that I've said that, I don't know Irish bands. This is also an Irish band.
Travis.
They did "Flowers in the Window."
No.
Hey, no.
Travis.
Flowers in the window.
I'm right here.
Oh, maybe I do know that song.
Just watch the flowers grow.
Maybe.
I don't know. But they did a cover of that, and then I just started. I know this is a tangent, but I just started falling in love with all of these Britney Spears covers.
Okay, the music is good. The lyrics are sometimes iffy, but even if you strip away the vocals, the music is still good.
Catchy.
It's still catchy,
yeah.
And that's what I've always thought about boy bands and the pop girls. Is say what you want to about them and their music. Stripping away the person behind the song, it's still a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pop music is made to be catchy, and they definitely know what they're doing when they write that music.
I just for me, it was a revolution to me that oh, maybe I shouldn't be a music snob because I like all of these Britney Spears songs by other people.
Well, it's funny because...
Do you think Blues Traveler would cover Toxic?
Nickel Creek has a cover of Toxic that they do live.
Yeah, it's really good.
Amazing.
Who's Nickel Creek?
We'll look them up after the podcast.
Yeah,
okay.
they're my favorite.
Everyone's going to think that Blues Traveler is my favorite
It's
band.
a guitar player dude and his violin sister, and then a guy who plays the mandolin.
Wait, his sister is a violin, or she plays the violin?
She plays the violin.
Okay, you just said his violin sister, so...
Well, because that's all... She's a violin sister, okay.
But the main guy, the mandolinist, he Chris Thiele, he's one of my favorite people in the world.
He can play the shit out of a mandolin.
Yeah, he can. He can play anything. I've heard him play, Star Wars music. I've heard him play...
On a mandolin.
I've heard him play Rage Against the Machine.
Sting?
This man is...
Sting plays an amazing lute. Have you ever heard Sting play the lute?
I have not.
He did, Fields of Gold while playing the lute. And it was just an experience. Like, I don't even know how else to put it.
I guarantee that Sting playing the lute is not as attractive as Chris Thiele playing the mandolin.
I don't know. There's something about Sting. I feel like if he'd just go full, like, embrace the follicle loss.
Chris Thiele has curls.
What, are you saying that bald men aren't attractive? And that we can't be attractive?
Never had curls, is what I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. But he had police.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
You know, I want to touch back on some, like, really inappropriate lyrics for children.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, okay, so some of their notable songs are Slam Dunk Da Funk, which was actually featured. Do you guys remember the Made for Disney Channel movies?
Yes.
You know, the Smart House?
No.
I have
where the house,
memories.
they, like, have that party and, like, the house sucks up all the garbage through the carpet. You know what I'm talking about? And then it has, like, a...
I have vague memories of it.
Yeah.
Like,
that
I
song,
feel like it came out in, like, 2002, probably.
Ish. Maybe before that.
I really only know Disney movies that had, like, Will
Theatrical.
Friedle or Katie Heigl in them.
Oh.
Xenon is pretty spectacular. You should watch
Xenon was
Xenon.
good. Xenon was
I don't know
legit.
what it is.
Made me want to go to space.
I want them to keep doing Girl Meets World. Like,
It was so good.
while we're on the topic of Will Friedle and Disney Channel. Anyway, inappropriate lyrics.
That song made it into the movie, and in the scene, it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. And it's the Disney concert series that's on the TV that was, like, a real thing, and then it's on the TV in the movie, and, like, the kids are having a party, and they're, like, 11 or 12, and they're doing, like, this half-ass, like, dance that Sive is doing on the TV, and they're, like, doing it in unison, and it's just, like, very 90s and slidey and, like,
90s.
like, digs, you know?
Yeah.
Slidey and grindy.
And not even grindy, just, like...
I guess grindy was, like, more of a early 2000s thing.
Yeah, I don't know. So, anyway, so that song, and then the When the Lights Go Out.
In the city?
Unfortunately, no.
Is that a Billy Joel song?
That's Journey,
Okay.
honey. Have we mentioned how much we just love you?
You have several times.
Josh is special.
He's our special boy.
You talk about music, and I'm going to make sure that you know your shit.
All right.
That's all this is. One giant act.
I don't know.
I'm not special. You're special.
Okay. Dirty lyrics. So from When the Lights Go Out, every single word could not express the love and tenderness. I'll show you what it's all about. I swear you will succumb to me. So baby, come to me when the lights go out. Okay. And I'm like 8 and I'm like jamming out pretty hard to this song.
Yeah.
I can't picture 8-year-old Hayley. Like, it's your head on a tiny body.
She had a bob.
Oh.
my
And
goodness.
That's unfortunate.
she was overweight still.
I wouldn't describe
Shorter?
it thusly.
I don't know. I basically look exactly the same. Just
Okay.
less makeup, darker hair, shorter hair, and still chubby. So basically the same.
So like me when I was 8.
Yeah. So I basically looked like Josh when I was 8.
Yeah.
We could have been twins, separated at birth. Just like 10 years apart.
That's also how I looked at 8.
Oh my
I
god.
feel like that's how
Are we
everyone looked at
related?
me.
Every child ever. I think if we were to pull up a picture of Nemo, he would look exactly the same.
Every picture that I've ever seen of
Wait,
Nemo,
exactly.
he looks like he's going to harm someone.
It's true. It's true. He has
Okay.
a way of looking very
You're
soulless.
you're just talking about his driver's license photo.
And his
work
school
photo.
ID. And his school ID.
So, when, full disclosure, Hayley and Nemo started working with us at the same time, and their trainer took a picture of Nemo's driver's license and still has that picture on her phone. And whenever she needs a good chuckle, or to be reminded that not all serial killers are bad, she takes a look at Nemo's driver's license photo, and it makes her feel better. Because he looks like, just his eyes are super intense in this picture, and he has long hair.
Auditioning to be in a movie about the Taliban or something. I love you, Nemo.
And she went there.
Wow. Oh my god.
I love you, Nemo.
Of all of us. That's a high five
I knew
moment.
that was, I mean, you can't deny that that's true.
No one's denying anything. Okay, we were all thinking it, you just said it. But
I was going to say like Son of Sam or Charlie Manson, but you went full Taliban, so once you go full Taliban, you can't take it back.
Don't hold this against me, Nemo. Remember
Okay.
the times?
So I got one last one that was pretty big back in the day. LFO. Anyone?
LFO.
Does anybody know what it stands for?
I do not. I used to.
Live for omelets.
No, but that's basically me every morning. The only reason I get out of bed is because I make myself an omelet almost every day.
It has avocado in it, doesn't it?
No.
Weird.
Should.
No,
Or
I
on
save my
top,
avocado.
on top, yeah.
No, I save my avocado for my salad.
Yeah, okay.
You gotta plan your carbs.
Avocados are carbs.
Yeah.
They're so green.
Avocados are made of fat, basically, and
Fiber.
I mean,
I'm
They're
an
low-
avocado!
They're low carb, but you still gotta watch your carbs. Stands for light funky ones.
what?
Yeah. That's what LFO stands
Oh my
for.
gosh.
All right.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I live
But
for
it's spelled,
omelets.
it's kind of spelled stupid too. So it's like LYTE and then funky with an IE. Because a Y was
If you
not
ever
funny
have
enough.
another
Why?
child, I want their middle name to be either light or funky.
I'm just gonna go get my uterus removed immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And look, every episode of We Just Nerd Here, we provide a public service, and today it's population control.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I do not need to be having any more children.
Didn't they do every other time? Or is that not them? Like
Hayley's
sometimes
uterus?
it's right, sometimes it's wrong. No, LFO.
I don't know. The song that I'm going to talk about, well, hang on. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, so it was Rich, Brad, and Brian. And then Brian, this was in 1995 when they started. And then Brian got pissed by about 1998 that they weren't as popular as he wanted to be at that point. So he left. And then they had him replaced with Devin. And then that was about the time when Summer Girls came out.
I feel like Nemo's going to have
That
that
sounds
same
familiar,
reaction
but
with
I
this
don't.
podcast. It's not going to be as popular as he wanted it to be by a certain point. He's just going to bounce.
Is he even going to listen to this considering he's not in it?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you, the only way he will ever hear this episode is if we're in the car together and I turn it on.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah, let's not.
I'm just going to play the Taliban part until the original
don't have to do
Nemo
that.
Yeah.
goes ahead and comments on it on iTunes. By the way, the original Nemo, thank you so much, whoever you are, for the kind review on iTunes. It made my day, and it made Nemo angry. So both of those things usually go hand in hand. So we appreciate it. Cheers, the original Nemo.
They did do every other time, by the way.
Okay, great. That's super great. Anyway, I think we can all agree that their biggest hit was Summer Girls.
I don't know who they are.
They're a band, Josh.
The song,
clearly.
I know you've heard Summer Girls. New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits.
Oh.
Chinese food makes me sick.
Okay.
I think it's fly when the girls walk by for the summer. For the summer.
Yeah.
I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch, but we were asshole kids, so we always said Abercrombie and Bitch because we
Oh.
thought it was funny because we could never afford Abercrombie and Fitch.
I didn't know what
So-
that was until 2005.
I only knew it was a
Yeah.
thing I couldn't afford.
Yeah, that's basically what we knew as well. Like we weren't like I didn't know. I was like,
Yeah.
is it clothes? Is it hair.
Which is more expensive, Abercrombie and Fitch or the Gap?
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Definitely.
I've never been able to shop at either place, so...
Yeah.
I've bought stuff on sale at the Gap, so...
Yeah. Well, I shop at Old Navy, which is basically like a subpar Gap.
Basically the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Old Navy is basically the Walmart of clothes, right?
No.
No. They have some
The
really cheap
Walmart of
stuff, but
clothes
they've got-
was probably like Aeropostale.
Oh, Arrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I always wanted to shop at
Yeah.
Arrow.
Everything was always
I
like
was-
50% off all the
Yeah.
time.
I never went in there 'cause I
finally
assumed it was expensive.
when they finally went out of business for their corporate restructure a couple years ago, the prices were the same as when they were normal. So when they were like, everything's 50% off, everything was the same price.
Yeah.
But I
It
always
has
want
been.
a t-shirt, just a short sleeve t-shirt with a hood on it.
Hmm.
I want them to make one of those for a fat ass like me. I have wanted a short sleeve shirt with a hood on it.
I can't blame
for
you.
as long as I can
love shirts
remember.
with hoods on them.
And I want a long sleeve shirt made for someone like me with a hood on it and a little hole for my thumbs in the sleeve.
Oh, those are the best.
I don't like any of those things.
Really?
I don't like if I want a hood, I'm going to wear a jacket. I don't want a hood on my shirt. It's the most cumbersome and stupid thing. And then I hate the thumb holes. It just makes your shirt feel so dirty to have it constantly like against your palm and like touching everything all the time. I hate that.
I don't touch a lot of things.
Like even just driving, like your steering wheel's so
No,
dirty and
like,
then you're going to
I-
get
You don't wash
I
your
only
steering
use
wheel?
Them
Not really.
sometimes.
Like the back seat of my car might be piled high with like a foot of garbage from a week of driving into work, but my steering wheel I wipe down like twice a week.
No,
Weird.
yeah, no.
No, I don't do that either.
Just
but
like
I only
anything
use
you
the thumb
touch.
holes when I'm not touching anything.
Yeah, I don't like thumb holes.
Like I like
don't-
sitting like out on the deck, like by the fire, when you got your drink in your hand and your thumb's in a hole. It's just I don't know how else to explain it. It's relaxing. It's soothing. Like my kid loves her tags, like on the clothes and on her stuffed animals. She loves to just sit there and rub tags. I like to have my thumbs in holes.
Just accept it and
do you
love us,
find your
Hayley.
thumb up your ass quite often?
Someday on this episode, or on this show, there'll be an episode that involves fingers and my butthole, but that is not this episode.
Is it Spider Surprise episode?
Yes.
I'm gonna choose to not be there for that.
Am I going to be subbing in for Lisa?
Yeah. But Heather will also be on that episode because it's basically how we fell in love.
I'm going to come in, sing the theme song, and I will take my leave and let you and Heather take it from me.
Sounds like, yeah, special Josh and Heather time.
All right, well,
She wasn't even here. Basically, I got a text message saying I should be somewhere that I wasn't, and I was in the shower where I always have my phone and my iPad with me, and there was soap, and I got in a hurry, and anyway,
Oh
boy
my
bands.
okay, anyway,
Please.
so, I just sang some of the lyrics for you, and I would just like to add very quickly that as a general rule, I have 2 rules. I'm not afraid of anybody I can sit on. And I don't trust people who don't like Chinese food.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
Do they fall into both of those categories?
yes.
Ooh. But they still think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer.
Well, and I guess I shouldn't
the summer.
say that they don't like Chinese food. It just makes them sick.
Yeah.
So maybe they just got some bad Chinese food sometime, probably most likely from Panda Express, where it's just been sitting out all day under the heat lamps. Just orange chicken that when you bite into it, it just, the center is just like chalk. But yeah, like I just, if it is the case that they don't like Chinese food, then I don't like them. I don't trust them, and I will sit on them.
Fair enough.
So Rich, who you might recognize as the guy who said his name was Rich when he met the girl who looked like she was from Abercrombie and Fitch. Anybody is catching these lyrics? No. Okay.
He said his name was Rich?
Yeah, he's like, when I met you, I said my name was Rich. You look like a girl from Abercrombie.
I feel like I've only heard this song like twice in my life.
Really?
Yeah, that's upsetting.
I don't
we'll jam out to it in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Because
well, he was diagnosed with leukemia, and then he did chemo, and it went into remission, but 4 years later, in 2010, it eventually took his life.
Ooh.
So,
sad.
Yeah, they had, like, got back together for a minute, and then he died of leukemia.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brad and Devin actually got back together, and they released a new single in July of last year, in 2017, called Perfect 10. But then, in October of 2017, last year, Devin was diagnosed with stage 4 adrenal cancer and had one of his kidneys removed.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so, like...
You can't turn a kidney into a keychain.
Just, like, bad luck. Horrible luck. And then I guess Brad... So, Rich is out. He's dead. He died of cancer. Devin currently has cancer. And then Brad is apparently a super pro-life activist. So that means that he'll probably just, like, live forever and push his conservative views on everyone for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But I guess the moral of the story is disrespecting Chinese food will give you cancer.
Fair enough.
And that is pretty much the conclusion of my notes.
So, first of all, this is the first episode where any of us have had any type of notes or preparedness, and Hayley had like 4 pages, so way to go, Hayley. Way to make this look like a professional show.
Way to make us look bad, is what he's saying.
Professional in inverted commas.
No, air bunnies.
Air bunnies.
Little bunny food.
Laura Richards from True Crime Profile says inverted commas, so I'm going to say inverted commas.
Well, Brandy from the History Dweeb says air bunnies.
Well, that's stupid.
Brandy's...
Laura Richards is from the UK.
And Brandy is from Ohio.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because that would confuse me, because that would make me feel like there's just one on each side. Mm-hmm. But in the UK, they do use just one. So that works.
No, I don't know. I didn't have a lot of boy band memories, and I don't even know that you can count them as a boy band, but I remember when I was in high school, we took a trip over to the UK for the weekend. I went to high school in Italy, Hayley, so I don't know that you knew that. We went over to the UK for 3 or 4 days, and I remember watching Nickelodeon in the UK and seeing a band called Busted, and it was 3 dudes, but I feel like they weren't necessarily a traditional boy band. They were more kind of in the vein of an old school, like Blink-182 style. But yeah, I remember going to Germany a couple months later and finding their CD in the airport at one of these like little electronic shops. And they are one of my favorite bands. So if you can count Busted as a boy band, then yes, they are my boy band of choice. I don't know. I just remember watching the commercial on Nickelodeon for their concert in the UK and going, wow, that song's really catchy. And then I know it's not One Direction. It's the other boy band, Disney Channel, Miley Cyrus.
Jonas Brothers?
Jonas Brothers, yes. They did a cover of Year 3000.
Me too.
And that was a song from Busted. And then they also did the theme song for the Thunderbirds movie, which was awful. But the theme song is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to look up Busted. Yeah, I'm probably not going to, but...
That's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember being so jealous because I always felt like I was way more passionate about music than my older sister Babs. And her friend went to, or had tickets for NSYNC and ended up taking my older sister. And although it was her friend, I was super butthurt about it because I had never really been to a concert before. Except for when I was like, I think my first concert was when I was like 5 or 6, and it was Weird Al at the either the Grape Festival or the Asparagus Festival in California.
What the hell kind of festivals are those?
Californians just like to party, okay? They're like, yeah, asparagus!
It's true. Anywhere that grows a certain crop, they will have a festival for it.
Yeah.
I want to go to California for a festival.
I've been to an onion festival.
I want to go to an onion festival.
Strawberry festival.
Oh, we did Strawberry Festival in Italy.
I never actually got to go to a strawberry festival.
We did
So
the
good.
Grape Festival a lot. Pretty much, I'm pretty sure we did that like every year. Just because we were in Northern California, so, you know, up by all the vineyards and stuff. So we did the Grape Festival pretty much every year. And Weird Al was cool and whatever, but he wasn't in sync, you know.
Yeah.
It definitely is not.
So I was pretty butthurt about that. And then...
Hear that, Babs? She's still butthurt about that.
I still think about it all the time, Babs. And then they broke up when I was like 12.
Old enough to go to a concert.
So old enough to be like, hey, I really want to go to a concert. And then they broke up. And then I went through a phase where I was like, my family dubbed me the music Nazi, where I wouldn't listen to anything except for like punk rock, basically. Yeah. And then that was like pretty limiting. And then I got sick of that. After a couple years, and then I just was like, you know, I'm just gonna enjoy music for what it is because it's just supposed to be fun. And then I got back into all my boy bands, and I pretty much will listen to anything except I really don't like EDM stuff, and I really don't like...
I like some of it, but I don't know enough of it to like...
Yeah.
Know what I like.
Like I've heard a few songs that I'm like, oh, this isn't bad, but and I just can't do like new country, with the exception of like Keith Urban has a couple good songs, and I really enjoy Chris Stapleton, but I think Chris Stapleton is way more blues than country anyway, so he doesn't really count.
I couldn't do new country when I was like in college, but I feel like the new country is kind of decent. I don't know. I really don't know enough of it to have an opinion, though.
Yeah, I just don't like country music very much.
Church guy, something church.
Eric Church.
Yeah, I think he's decent.
He's really good. I like him.
I don't like country.
If I had to choose like a type of music besides just like a decade, like my 90s playlist, I don't know why. I like the 90s playlist. I couldn't tell you why. But other than that, like, country's what I've got the presets to in the car.
Huh.
Yikes.
That's not what I can say.
Not gonna be road tripping with Josh.
Passenger, like, whoever's in the passenger seat chooses in the car, so I don't care.
I was a big old cliche, though, and when I got my heart broken, I listened to a lot of country music. I just wanted a cowboy.
That explains a lot.
Come love me.
Oh my god, it does. And that does it for part 2. So it was a fun Cinco de Mayo. We did tacos and margaritas and whiskey, even though all you had were tacos. It's
without the shell.
Without the shell. You had delicious meat and cheese. At least I hope it was delicious meat and cheese.
It was delicious, yeah.
Lisa, thanks for coming out. Like, I love our recording days because we get to eat, we get to hang out, and it's Whiskey Saturday usually. So
at least for Josh.
Every day is Whiskey Saturday for Josh.
I wish. That would be fantastic. I couldn't afford it though. I don't make enough money for that.
Yeah, true.
But I definitely
also cannot afford it.
No, my liver can afford anything. It writes checks it can't cash every day.
Oh.
I shouldn't say that. It makes me sound like an alcoholic.
Don't say that.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Whiskey Saturday is basically I have a couple drinks and relax. With friends. Not alone. Never alone. One time I was alone. But that doesn't make me an alcoholic. I don't have a problem. Anyway. Hashtag not a problem. Hashtag I love Crown. Be sure to leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play Music, wherever you listen. Your reviews help people find us more easily, so please, please, please leave those reviews. Hayley, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. And if you guys liked me as a guest today, let them know in the comments and in the reviews what you guys think, and maybe they'll have me back.
Yep. We may have...
I want you back.
I want you back.
Okay, I wasn't going to go there, but I'm glad somebody did. I can't be the only one. I'm glad I taught you something.
I learned today. It's great. Originally we thought about having Hayley on to do some of the conspiracy shows with Nemo, because I know she's kind of like me. She likes to dabble in the conspiracy fields and just read weird articles and watch weird YouTube videos. So we
fall down rabbit holes.
Rabbit holes
Get
are so much
serial
fun.
Killers.
True crime is a passion of mine.
True crime is our biggest competition as a podcast. So, and I'm guilty of that too. History, dweebs, Canadian true crime, The Trail Went Cold, all of them. So anyway. Until next time, you can find us on Patreon at We Just Nerd Here. If you feel like joining our crew for just a couple bucks a month, you get some access to our exclusive feed, and eventually we're going to have some merch up and Patreon exclusive episodes. Starting on May 14th, you should be able to go on to patreon.com if you are a patron and partake in our first Patreon exclusive poll, which will help decide what a topic on a future episode will be. So be sure and get in on that. This episode was the result of our first poll on our Facebook page, where 1992 went up against boy bands, and boy bands decimated 1992 the way they decimated 1997. So many lives were ruined, so many friendships lost. It was like the Civil War all over again. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? Final answer.
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys. Okay.
But
so,
Justin.
Okay, we're not talking about solo acts
I'm
here.
just saying.
I want to know what you guys meant by ramen hair.
Oh, it was bad.
You really don't know
No.
what his hair used to look like?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, we're going to look it up.
Okay. We also have a Twitter account.
Twitter at We Just Nerd Here.
And I've got a Twitter account at Joshua Tracy85.
And you can find me at Lisa Asanuma.
And Nemo... At Nemo Nerds Here is a Twitter account.
It exists.
We don't know if it's Nemo. It has his picture, but I don't know what it is. So, Hayley, I haven't asked you yet. Are you running Nemo's account?
I am not.
Okay. Yeah, no, she's just running our Facebook page.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've DM'd it. Nothing. So, no response.
Same.
Yeah, it's weird. So, we're still trying to figure that out. At this point, it's been like 2 months. So, I'm getting concerned.
I'm just confused. Mostly.
I want to know how it has nearly as many followers as I do.
Well.
It's not very many, but yeah. Until next time, we just nerd here, and you do too. Hayley, thanks again for joining us.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.